welcome back, boys. In case you're new and you don't know what's going on, we're doing a crazy motor swap in my car. Speaking of that, the motor mounts from carpets.com just came in. Here's my social media if you want to check it out. Now let's go get into it. Brand new motor mount finally came in the mail after 2 days. Honestly, I wasn't really expecting it to take only 2 days to ship. That's low-key kind of crazy. Real quick, boys, I just want to give a huge shout out to this video sponsor, www.carparts.com. They really are the smartest way to shop for your automotive needs. Whether that's a hood, bumper, fender, gasket, motor mounts, or anything like that, they got you covered. And they got this awesome feature where you can get professional mechanics and installation quotes for free on checkout. But I didn't want to go with 2 solid mounts, and so OEM Plus seems fine. You got to take our quick disconnect Bluetooth motor mounts. Not gonna need that anymore. And we're gonna put this guy in the hair. So first off, I got a very offensive TikTok comment that said I needed to clean my garage. Oh, God, bro. You know what? I'm starting to think homie was right, bro. Oh my God, dude. Alrighty, boys, that is a little bit less terrible. Now, granted, there's still a bunch of stains and, like, pieces of tape that are stuck to the ground that I didn't pick up, but at least now we can get the car into here and actually work in it. There's a lot of freaking tape in here. Man, I need to sweep. Alrighty, so the first order of business that I want to do is unbox everything here, even though we've already done that, but I want to lay it all out in this table right here, so that I have every single part that I know I need and every single part that I need to install. So, hopefully we have enough space to put everything on the tables all like this, kind of like how I have my clutch, flywheel, and everything like that. Everything has completely been pulled out, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to feel a little bit more scared about doing this. These 3 items, confidence. Alternator, I have confidence. I've changed an alternator before. Headers, I have confidence. Kind of getting a little bit scared around here. Never played with any of this. I don't even know, homie. The distributor? Honestly, though, dude, with the distributor, I'm terrified for that as well, because I can't run a USDM distributor. If I want to, what we could do is we could swap my USDM cams and valve cover onto this one, and then we could bypass all the wiring. Well, boys, after about 2.5 hours of actual hard wiring, yes, we've spent the last 2 hours going through ancient mother-freaking documents and anything that we have that gives us information on all of these wires. Literally, we have no idea any of those wires. We have to backtrace every single one. Like, if we go right there, you can see that there's a plug right here that was cut by the previous owner of the motor. The distributor is completely different. There's a bunch of different things on this motor, and I don't even have a soldering iron or anything to extend the wires. So, unfortunately, I've made the executive decision. My best friend Riley helped me make the executive decision, because I FaceTimed him while I was laying upside down in this bucket seat right there. And I was like, yo, bro, I don't know what to do. And he was like, honestly, if I was you, I'd just swap out the cams. Oh, that's what we're going to do. So, real quick, let's take off our valve cover. It's going to be 10 bolts, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. It's 11 bolts. My bad. So, 11 bolts to take off the valve cover. And then we're just going to take out the cam on the intake side. And then we're going to put the new cam in on the intake side. The cam on the exhaust side, we can just leave that right there. Okay, now this is going to be relatively easy. We're simply just going to take off this cam side right here. We're going to leave this one perfectly intact because it looks like they're the exact same. Take a look at this one. We come over here. We take a look at this one. They look literally identical. So we're just going to put this guy into there because that one's a little bit longer and it sticks out of the back right there. Now, hey boys, Zayden from the future here. Now, one thing I need to mention is whenever you do anything with timing or cams or anything like that, you need to time your motor. Thank God I had a non-interference motor, otherwise we would have been fucked. Alrighty, so now that we got all of those little caps off with those guys right there, I believe with a little bit of finessery, maybe wiggling, I probably actually need to do this both hands. We can lift up our cams. Yeah, I'm gonna need to do this both hands. And just like that, boys, we are 100% done. Now, I swapped the cam gears. That's what they're called. Wow, I can't believe I just forgot that. I swapped the JDM cam gear onto this side because both of these are going to match, because this is still the JDM cam. So we have one JDM cam, one USDM cam. The intake side cam, that's the USDM one. Exhaust side is the JDM one. So I have now a JDM Frankenstein. Why did I do that in JDM? I have a JDM Frankenstein. I don't know. I have a full JDM motor with one USDM cam, so that way I can run a JDM cam resistant sensor in the back. That's it. That's the only reason I did that. Alrighty, boys. So I threw the turbo ski on the motor just kind of for shits and giggles, and then I also clocked the turbo. So in the next month when we do go turbo on this motor, that the turbo is already clocked and we know how it's going to fit, and that way I could also do a little bit of clickbait. I'm sorry, but also it was kind of fun to put this turbo in. And do not tell me that that does not look insane. Now, unfortunately, we cannot run the JDM intake manifold. Wow, that was super great English on me, because the USDM throttle body does not fit in the JDM intake manifold. So I found a JDM throttle body on, like, I think, what was it? Kruger is the name of the site. I don't know. It's some Japanese import site. Apparently it can be here next month. So for that time being, we're just going to run the USDM intake on this. And then when we get the throttle body, and then we can swap it all. So with that being said, the USDM throttle body has to be taken off of this motor, and this poor freaking motor is just completely getting stripped down for parts. Sweet boys, and finally we have all of our accessories on. Now I still need to take off the turbo. As cool as this guy is, we do have to put the exhaust in because we're not running the turbo kit for the next month or so. But I figured that I would just get all the accessories, belts and everything like that, torqued down, tightened, get the belts to the right little specs like this, everything like that, so there, you know, we don't really have to have too many time lapses, because I really feel like the time lapse is bad. I also polished my intake right here. Since we have to run the USDM one, I figured it'd be nice to run a cooler USDM one. So next up we all need to do is swap the exhaust manifold on for the turbo, and then I believe get some oil for this bad boy, put spark plugs in, the wires, the distributor, and then I think we're ready to drop it in. I lied. And then we need to put in the flywheel. I still don't know what this is called. I think it's a pressure plate or something, and the clutch. Might not look it because the head's on it and the turbo is still on it, but all we have to do is throw the exhaust on it, and then the motor is fully ready to go on. I realized I said head, I'm talking about the valve cover. I always freaking called it a head. Now, the only other thing that we need to do is install some spark plugs, which I got from www.carparts.com. More on that later. Now, to install spark plugs is insanely freaking easy. You take these guys, you put them all the way down inside of this hole, and then you grab a special spark plug socket, aka just a deep socket. One of those guys around there, the super long ones, and then you just tighten it down to about hand tight, 1 knot past hand tight. Now, alrighty, boys, I have just had an insane adventure. I just got back from the ER. I spent 9 hours at the ER. In case you haven't seen it on my Snapchat, your boy ate skateboard. Ow! I just broke my butt. Oh, God. And broke his tailbone. Well, actually, I put a small hairline fracture and chipped off a little bit of my bone fragment on my tailbone, but breaking your tailbone just sounds better and easier to explain than saying everything that I just said. Bruh. First off, we need to clean up our entire workbench. All of these are parts that we are mostly not going to be using because I've swapped over some parts from my USDM motor. Next up, then what we're going to have to do is assemble the flywheel, which is this guy right there. That big disc is the flywheel. That's a clutch. That's your pressure plate. The clutch goes in between the flywheel and the pressure plate, and then the pressure plate gets bolted onto the flywheel, sandwiching the clutch like this. Now, all of these things need to get assembled. There's also some bearings and stuff, so we'll go a little bit more deeper into that when I can get the workbench cleaned up. Alrighty, so for a kid with a broken tailbone, I think that I'm doing pretty dang well for myself. Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. Okay. Oh! Why did it drop like that? Oh my God, did you guys see that? Why did it drop? Oh my God. Alrighty, boys, just like that, we got the motor and the workbench. Now, oh my God, that's stinky. So I've already sprayed all of these guys down with brake cleaner. And next up, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a paper towel and you're gonna wipe in this motion like this. Just keep doing that every single pass with brake cleaner until it comes up clean. Alrighty, so our clutch alignment tool from carparts.com gets set right there. And next up, we gotta put our flywheel onto the motor. Alrighty, so if you try to tighten down your flywheel bolts just like this, it's just going to continue to spin inevitably. So, flywheels have itty bitty little holes put in them. You're going to put a screwdriver through that, try to tighten it down, and it's going to get hit on the block and lock it into place. Just like that, locked into place, and now I can torque it down. But we run into a small problem of you have to torque it down to such a high foot pressure, pounds, whatever you call it, 71 foot-pounds of torque. When I try to tighten it down, the whole motor goes wobble, so I think I'm going to have someone hold that. I'm not sure, though. And that completes torquing down all of our flywheel bolts. Now, one thing you want to remember is to torque down all of these bolts in a star pattern, just like you do for your lug nuts. Now, next up, you're going to take a clutch alignment tool. As you can see, there's multiple splines right there. That spline tooth are going to line up with those spline teeth, and then that little cylinder is going to go into this bearing right there. And that is going to help you keep a perfect distance and spacing for your clutch and flywheel setup. The last thing you need to do is torque down all of the pressure plate bolts. All of those guys get torqued down anywhere from 14 to 19 foot-pounds of pressure. I went smack dab in the middle at 15 foot-pounds of pressure. Now, the last thing is you get to pull this guy out, which is super satisfying. And just like that, we have a fully assembled motor. We have our flywheel, pressure plate, and clutch bolted on, our intake manifold, we have our distributor, we have our cam position sensor, I totally forgot the name of that, we have our headers on, we have our valve cover on, we have our brand new valve cover gasket from carparts.com, we have every single gasket that we could physically touch while the motor was apart. Keep in mind, we had the whole head off of this motor. Literally almost every single gasket has been replaced on this motor. I think we're ready to go. I also completely forgot we have brand new wires, new spark plugs, and everything like that. Now, with all that being said, in between my broken tailbone and the fact that it's very late at night, this most likely is going to be the end of the video. So, once again, an absolute huge shout out to www.carparts.com for hooking it up and supporting this entire build series. Now, with that being said, today's episode is officially over. And honestly, I'm really freaking happy with everything we got done. So, my name is Zayden. Here's my social media if you want to go check that out. If you want to hit that subscribe button down below, it sincerely helps out this channel and helps out the videos and helps out me get more videos for you guys out like this one. Because remember, if the videos do better, more of a budget gets set for those videos, so the better those videos do. It's kind of a perpetual loop. And while you're down to hitting that subscribe button, if you could hit that like button. Keep in mind the subscribe button and the like button is 100% free, and you can undo it at literally any time. Now, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. I'm out.